What I'm gonna do today is I'm basically gonna be just watering in our new blueberry bushes and also watering in our older blueberry bushes that we've had from last year. And we're gonna go into planting these new blueberry beds, but I just wanted to show you the difference between what these looked like last year and what they look like this year. Look at these beautiful berries on here. That's what we're doing today. We're planting blueberries.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime.
Right here's another bless your heart, and you can see I have several inches of pine bark nuggets on the top. And this here is another Hello Darlin, and I'm mixing these in with each other. And you can see again, that's at least 3 inches of pine bark mini nuggets on top. And this here is a bless your heart, same thing. 3 inches of pine bark nuggets on top. And what we're gonna do is go down here and we're gonna show you how I put these beds together. Blueberries are unique in their own nature, and it's one of the few plants that you do want to consider a large container for. Now, blueberries like a soil pH between a 4.5 and a 5.5. Now, planting these in the ground, you can add some soil acidifier, and that usually takes maybe a year for that to even have a partial effect on lowering your pH in your soil. So what I like to do is put my blueberries in containers and give them the growing medium that's already acidic in nature. Now, berrytone is an excellent choice for your blueberries as well as your strawberries. And I always keep some of that on hand, but what I've grown to favor over the short period of me growing blueberries is cottonseed meal. It has an NPK of a 611. Now, cottonseed meal is an excellent fertilizer for acid-loving plants like blueberries and strawberries. And being that we're in the springtime and our blueberry bushes are waking up, we want to give them a nice good perk of that 611 or that cottonseed meal. Now, the first thing we want to do as we start to get our beds in place, we want to make sure that we have the correct distance between all of our beds. And I'm about 36 inches between each. So that lands me right at 36 there. That puts me right at 36 here. The bed's about 13 inches tall. This one's 16 inches, so I have about 3 inches that I need to drop this down. I just had this in here so I can get a visual of what I wanted to do. All these beds on average are 48 inches. So I need at least 23 to center. So that's pretty close right there. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and roll with that. Now what I have here is a little paint marker to go around the inside of the bed. That way I can remove this and I'll know exactly where my line is, where I need to start etching out to get my bed to settle in. Now I can go ahead and move this out the way and go ahead and get started on etching out our bed. And I'm just going to skim the top because I want to keep as much soil in here as I can.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland, no, I just can't get enough.
this is one of the reasons why I try not to go as deep, but I do want to get that grass out of there.
Dance in the living room, can't stop looking at you. The way you're moving, I'm watching all of my dreams come true. Take all my stress away, clear up my cloudy days. Just me and you and all this music, baby, never change. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland, no, I just can't get enough. You feel like magic, magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic, magic. You know you feel like 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 you're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland, no, I just can't get enough. You feel like magic, magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic.
Those are the type of worms that I have in my garden. That's from good compost.
You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic, magic. Dance in the living room, can't stop looking at you. The way you're moving, I'm watching all of my dreams come true. Take all my stress away, clear up my cloudy days. Just me and you and all this music, baby, never
5%
change.
pine bark.
When you reach out your hand, I find myself again. Electric wonderland, no, I just can't get enough.
Go over here and get a bucket of my compost.
Magic, magic. Just one touch, my God, I gotta have it. You feel like magic, magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like magic. You know you feel like.
Got no issues, it's kinda nice. Like running water into a paradise. Got no drama, feels like we arrived. Picture perfect, it don't exist. But when I'm with you, don't have to question it. True devotion. Oh, my life, I thought the love was just a lie. A way to feel an unrealistic high. We get our fix, but never satisfied. Give you all of my love and you give it right back. I could fly, I could fall, I know you got my back. Never thought I would find someone to love like that.
So basically what I've done is just gotten me a really good acidic mix. Now here are the few things that I go to when it comes to my blueberry bushes and my strawberries. But here's your berry tone, and here you have some soil acidifier, and this has become my favorite. And that 6 in the 611 is just enough nitrogen in there for the blueberries to really respond to it without having an overabundance of growth. and lessening the berry production. So I'm very happy with the way this cottonseed meal is performing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the baritone aside for right now, because we're not gonna use that. We're just gonna add a 1/4 cup of the soil acidifier. And I'll do this every spring. Just add 1/4 cup of the soil acidifier to each one of the beds. Not a whole lot. And with the cottonseed meal, I'm gonna do a 1/2 cup as well. And I'll do this twice a year. Once in the spring as the blueberries start to wake up, and then I'll do it again around September after the blueberries start to taper off somewhat. And this stuff will be breaking down for the next few months. And we're just mixing that in. And by the time the berries finish fruiting, that cottonseed meal is going to be there to replenish them after all of that fruit production that they put out through the year. So we're going to go ahead and mix that in. This here is another Hello Darlin. And this become one of my favorites because this thing blooms on and off all year long. And it is a prolific producer. And this one was developed by the University of Florida as a southern high bush, where it grows very well down here in the southeast Georgia zone 8A. We're gonna up pot this, and this is how I did all of my blueberry bushes. These plants have been baby for the last 2 years of their lives in the nurseries, so 9 times out of 10 they're root bound. Now with the blueberry bushes, the roots are very fine and they spread out more so than going deep. So what I like to do with my bushes, after they've been bottled up for the majority of their lives, look how tight this ball is. That's no room for growth in it. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna stunt the growth of the plant, because you're gonna be waiting for this plant to take off throughout the year, and it's gonna be steady trying to break out of this little root ball that it has here. I'm gonna do something that makes even me squeamish. Turn this way. We're going halfway up the root ball, and that's giving us about 6 inches. And we're gonna just do us a little X at the bottom. And then we're just gonna massage this, all of these over. I'm not telling everybody to do theirs this way. I'm just telling you that's how I did mine. And every one of them are doing very well. And it's going to stress the plant out a little bit, but that's what you want, because it's going to go into survival mode and it's going to try to replant itself because it wants to survive. All those fine hairs there, they're going to take off into this medium. And while it's a little abusive right now, they're gonna love you for it in the end. See how the roots are starting to pop loose now? This plant's been bottled up for its entire life. So all we're doing is just giving it room to breathe. Right, so we'll set that to the side for now. Then we're just gonna give us a little spot in there. In there. It's gonna love it here. Fit it in. And with that root ball just above the surface so that water can run off. And then what I'm gonna do, I'll pack us a little of our mix right up in here. And then we're gonna set it back down. All back in there. She is gonna love it here. And then I'm gonna take a little more of my cottonseed meal. And we're just gonna go around. Not gonna put it on the root ball, but we're gonna go right around that root ball because we want those roots to have a reason to come out. So as we water it, that stuff's gonna soak down and those roots are gonna want to travel. Each bed, after all said and done, is gonna get 2 cubic feet of the mini pine bark nuggets mulched across the top.
Now to finish this off, we're going to take some of our 1/4 inch automotive door edging, and we're going to finish off the edges of these beds. I'll put a link in the description if you want to get these.
Got no issues, it's kinda nice, like running water into a paradise. Got no drama, feels like we arrived. Picture perfect, it don't exist, but when I'm with you, don't have to question it. True devotion,